When two people fall in love, the world around them feels transformed. Colors seem brighter, conversations feel endless, and every moment together feels alive with energy. In the beginning, love is fresh, exciting, and effortless. It does not require much thought. It feels natural, like breathing. But as time passes, something changes. The intensity fades, the sparks quiet down, and the once effortless bond begins to feel heavier. And then the question arises, why do people fall out of love? How can something that felt so strong begin to weaken over time? The truth is, falling out of love is rarely about a single moment. It is not usually about one argument, one disappointment, or one failure. It is about slow disconnection, the gradual drifting apart that happens when two people stop communicating in ways that truly reach each other's hearts. At first, it may be invisible. A missed compliment here, an ignored need there, a busy schedule that leaves little time for closeness. But over time, these small cracks widen until the relationship feels unfamiliar and love feels like it is slipping away. One of the most powerful reasons people fall out of love is because they stop speaking the same emotional language. Every person has a way they understand love. For some, it is through words of affirmation, hearing "I love you," "I'm proud of you," "I'm grateful for you." For others, it is through quality time, knowing that their partner is fully present, listening, and paying attention. For some, love is felt most through physical touch, holding hands, hugging, the warmth of closeness. For others, it is through acts of service, small gestures of help and support that say, "I care about you." And for some, it is through receiving gifts, not because they are materialistic, but because gifts are symbols of thoughtfulness and attention. When couples fall in love in the beginning, they often give all of these naturally. They shower each other with words, spend hours together, touch constantly, surprise each other with small gestures, and exchange thoughtful gifts. But as time passes, life intervenes. Work, stress, responsibilities, routines, all begin to crowd the space where love once thrived. And slowly, the couple begins to forget each other's love language. They keep giving love in the way they know best, but not necessarily in the way their partner needs most. Imagine a man whose love language is words of affirmation. In the early days, his partner told him often how much she loved him, how much she admired him, how happy she was to be with him. But years later, those words become rare. She still loves him, but she believes her actions are enough. She works hard for the relationship, she provides, she is present. But without words, he begins to feel unseen, unappreciated, and unloved. Not because she stopped loving him, but because she stopped speaking love in the language his heart understands. Or imagine a woman whose love language is quality time. In the beginning, her partner gave her long evenings of laughter, late-night walks, and uninterrupted conversations. But as years pass, his work demands more hours. His attention shifts to responsibilities, and the time they spend together is filled with distractions. He believes he is doing his best by providing and by being physically around. But for her, the lack of quality attention feels like absence. She begins to feel lonely, even while sitting right beside him. This is how people fall out of love, not because the love disappears, but because it gets lost in translation. They are still giving, but they are not giving in the right way. And slowly, both partners begin to feel unappreciated, misunderstood, and disconnected. But here lies the beauty. Just as love can fade through disconnection, it can also be revived through understanding. This is where love languages become not just important, but life-changing, because they provide a simple, clear framework for couples to recognize and reconnect. They teach us that love is not about guessing, it is about learning. It is about discovering what makes our partner feel cherished and then choosing to show it intentionally again and again. When couples begin to use love languages, they often feel as if a light has been turned on. The husband who struggled to understand why his wife felt neglected suddenly realizes that what she craved was not more money or gifts. It was undivided time. The wife who wondered why her husband seemed distant realizes that what he needed was not endless conversations. It was words of affirmation, spoken with sincerity. This realization shifts everything, because now love is not being expressed randomly, but in a way that truly reaches the other's heart. The reason love languages can fix relationships is simple. They remind us that love is not about what we give. It is about what the other person receives. You may think you are loving with all your heart, but if your partner does not feel it, then the connection breaks. Love languages close that gap. They make sure that love is not just given, but also felt. And when couples begin to apply this understanding, the results are powerful. A partner who begins to use words of affirmation notices how their spouse's confidence grows, how their smile returns, how the bond deepens. A couple who starts to prioritize quality time finds that even short moments of genuine presence bring them closer than hours of distracted togetherness ever could. A husband who learns the power of small acts of service, helping with chores, running errands, offering support, discovers that these simple actions speak louder than any expensive gift. And for those whose language is physical touch or receiving gifts, the effort to show love through hugs, closeness, or small tokens brings back the spark they thought was gone forever. Falling out of love is not a sudden collapse, it is a slow drifting apart. But fixing it is also not about grand gestures. It is about small, consistent choices, choosing to speak love in the way your partner needs most, choosing to remind them every day, through words, through time, through touch, through actions, through thoughtful gifts, that they matter, that they are seen, that they are cherished. Some people believe that when love fades, it cannot return, but countless couples prove otherwise. They show that when you understand each other's love language, you can reignite the connection, rebuild the trust, and rediscover the joy of being together. Because love was never gone, it was simply unspoken. Think about it. When someone says, "We fell out of love," what they often mean is, "We stopped feeling connected." And connection is not magic, it is effort, it is intention, it is knowing your partner's heart and choosing to speak to it. That is why love languages matter so deeply. They give couples the map back to each other. So why do people fall out of love? Because they forget to keep learning each other. Because they assume love should always feel easy. Because they stop speaking the language their partner understands. And how can love languages fix it? By reminding us that love is not a one-time act, but a daily practice. By showing us that love is not just about how we feel, but about how we make the other feel. By giving us the tools to close the gap between intention and connection. Love begins with passion, but it lasts with understanding. It starts with excitement, but it survives with effort. It is not enough to say, "I love you," once. It must be shown, spoken, felt, and lived in the language that reaches the other person's soul. And when couples do this, when they commit to speaking love intentionally, the fear of falling out of love begins to fade, because love is no longer left to chance. It becomes a choice made every day in small ways, through words, time, touch, service, and gifts. Love languages do not just explain why love fades, they show us how love lasts. They remind us that even when the spark dims, the flame can be rekindled. They teach us that no matter how far two people may drift, there is always a way back, if they are willing to learn each other again. So perhaps the real secret is this: people do not fall out of love because love disappears. They fall out of love because they stop speaking it. And the moment they begin again, with patience, with humility, with understanding, they discover that love was there all along, waiting to be felt.